Holy cats, you're listening to the 44th episode of Become a Bat. I'm your host, Tom.
And I'm Mike. And you said holy cats again, finally.
I know, it's been a while. They haven't said it in the comics in so long.
Yeah, but you like the last 2-3 times they said it, you didn't say it.
Yeah. I'm getting lazy in my old age. So welcome back to our humble Batman podcast. Today we're going to be talking about... This was a really interesting little duo of stories, I'd say.
I liked them both.
Yes.
Which is weird because the last episode we did, I was kind of like,
Yeah.
About both.
This one, both had something interesting
Yeah.
going on there. We're going to go with the first story on Batman number 12, Brothers in Crime and Detective Comics 73, The Scarecrow Returns. If you missed the first introduction of the Scarecrow, go back to whatever episode of Become a Bat we recorded. It was our Halloween special.
Mm-hmm.
Halloween special with Scarecrow's first appearance in World's Finest, number 9? I don't remember.
Just off the top of your head, did you like that story more or this story more?
It's a toss-up. I think I liked the other one more, just because it's the origin, and it surprised me just because like there were things I expected and things I just didn't expect out of Scarecrow.
I kind of wish this one was part 2 of that one.
Yeah,
like how they have the Joker and then the Joker returns.
It feels like that though. So.
It kind of does. But I wish there was a couple more callbacks to certain specific things that they forgot about.
So speaking of callbacks, the first story we got today with in Brothers of Crime opens with tons of Batman callbacks. It's really cool.
We were just talking about that too.
Yeah.
And then I was like, dude, I looked at the first page and it's all about that.
Yeah.
It's just funny that we're reading these it's sort of in the order they came out, and we're having these ideas of things they should do, and then they do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So with that said, let's get into Batman number 12. So this is Batman number 12, story number 1, Brothers in Crime. Art by Jerry Robinson and George Russos. First time, no Bob Kane. He's not credited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a difference it makes. To be honest.
It feels like the art, I can immediately feel a difference.
I can too. Tonally, in every single way.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And written by Don Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with this cover here. This is a simple cover.
Yeah. It's not great.
Yeah. Let me just describe it real quick. Get this out of the way.
Okay.
It's Batman and Robin are in
the Jeep.
Just a Jeep, yeah, or whatever that army. It's like an army Jeep thing.
Yeah, it's an old army Jeep.
They're just waving to the audience and saying, "War saving bonds and stamps, keep them rolling," because we're in the middle of World War II.
What a bummer that's the cover to such a great story.
I know. I mean, the drawing's not bad, but it's not an imaginative cover.
Do you like how the logo on the cover and the logo on the splash page have different Batman faces?
I didn't notice that until now.
Yeah, the top one's the Bob Kane Batman, the classic first appearance, and then the one on the splash page is the more campy Dick Sprang looking one.
I like them both, but
the
bottom one's nice to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, the art in the splash page is
amazing.
Holy crap, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, every time I see this type of Batman art, not the real cartoony Dick Tracy Batman art, which I also love.
Yeah.
But every time I see this, I'm like, this is what it should be. This is like Dick Tracy, or sorry, it's not Dick. It's like Tales from the Crypt, where the artists have a little bit more free reign to draw things more realistically, and then the action seems more realistic. It seems more cinematic. Everything about it is so much better.
Yeah, this was kind of a gruesome tale, and the art really kind of reflects that in a good way.
Yeah, there's a lot of good panels in this one.
Yeah. We'll get to those soon. But yeah, how about you describe the splash page?
I will, and then I will read it.
Yes.
This splash page is amazing. It's got the big Batman with Robin logo on the top, and then Batman and Robin are swinging down on ropes, looking very well drawn, across the logo. And then on the right-hand side, you have a wall that's at a slight angle, and you have these 3 criminals who would be the brothers busting through the wall with their guns. 2 of them are dual wielding, which is really cool. And then the wall says "Wanted," right? It's almost like a wanted poster.
Yeah.
And then down on the corner, aiming up the wall, there's a slew of cops firing Tommy guns and stuff like that, and handguns under the light of a lamppost.
Yeah.
It's just really cool. It's another one of those typical giant characters versus small characters, but it doesn't feel like such a cheesy
Yeah, this should have been the cover. This should have been the cover.
This would have been a cover, I think, which is why it's so detailed and great.
Yeah.
Yeah, super good. Also, I love that first panel down there with Batman's hand.
I
I
wouldn't,
almost put that panel as a panel, but
that's a panel in its own. Yeah,
yeah.
just like it's so detailed.
Yep. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Symbol of the Batman's victories over crime is his vast hall of trophies. Here, in a secret chamber, are housed for all time hundreds of odd souvenirs of the Batman's never-ceasing war against villainy. And perhaps the strangest exhibit in the Batman's awesome collection of trophies is a steel, bulletproof vest. A vest of armor that affected the lives of 3 brothers who flouted the law. Now, for the first time, is revealed the amazing case history of trophy number 41 and the startling story of brothers in crime.
That was really good.
And let me say something too.
Yeah.
There's a Batman series from the 90s called the Batman Chronicles. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah, yeah.
Where it actually goes through all the trophies in Batman's Batcave and has stories about each one.
They kind of tried to do that again with Batman Confidential in the 2000s.
That was bad.
But
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, they're going to be doing that for pretty much whatever. I'm certain they're gonna do that again, like in the next few years.
Yeah. The main thing that was bad about Confidential wasn't even the writing; it was the art. Because it looked decent when you look at the covers and you start flipping through it, and you're like, "Who drew this? Rob Liefeld's little brother." Like it's just really.
Yeah, I barely remember it. I got it because I think Darwin. I know Darwin Cook did Superman Confidential. I think he might have done Batman, at least the writing. I can't remember.
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
It felt like a 90s like Image comic.
Yeah.
Like it was trying to be that type of Batman.
That
was around that time where they didn't know where they wanted to go with Batman and what fans were looking for. So they were like trying to do all these different things to try to figure out what they wanted. And then they just rebooted the whole thing.
So, on to the synopsis.
Yeah.
Batman and Robin walk through their trophy room and reminisce about their past adventures. They stumble upon a strange bulletproof vest and tell the audience about the tale of the 3 brothers. I wrote all shot down, but they weren't. I don't know why I did that.
Spoiler.
Yeah. Okay. But real quick, the story kind of makes it like unclear. Like it just seems like there's one and they just pass it along. But I'm like, no, there's got to be 3 of these. All 3 of them have it.
They do mention that at one point,
yeah.
Right? Because the 2 brothers are like, "We're wearing them, and here's one for you."
Yeah,
but,
yeah. So
yeah,
I don't know the way there's just one trophy, but okay.
Because it's from the guy.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, the one guy.
But you figure they would have collected the other 2.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. I'm moving on. It was 1939. Peter Rafferty had just been freed from prison, having paid his debt to society. He intends to go straight. He's picked up by his 2 brothers, Steve and Mike. Now, Steve and Mike have no issue with being hardened criminals. The first thing they do is visit a gas station and kill the attendant after he fills them up. This immediately gets reported to the police, and Peter is, once again, wanted by the law. Peter tries to leave, but is convinced by his brothers that they won't be lenient on him, so he might as well join them. And they give him a bulletproof vest.
FYI.
Yes, it's a special bulletproof vest. It kind of makes him feel invincible.
Yes, but I was also going to say, Steve is my brother's name.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
So it's me and my brother.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
It's about 2 brothers. You don't have a 3rd brother, though.
No.
Anyway. From then on, the Rafferty brothers go on a crime spree. They don't fear Batman and Robin, but soon they will get their attention. At some point, they're brawling out in the junkyard. Robin punches one of them in the chest, but notices that the guy's chest feels like it was made out of iron. Steve Rafferty is about to get a killing shot into Batman, but is suddenly sucked in by the electromagnetic. God damn it.
Electromagnetic.
Yes, we were just like talking about that with Penguin last too. Anyways, a magnet
Penguin.
sucks him up from the sky,
Yeah.
and one of those junkyard magnets, and it's moving, and Batman's actually making an effort to actually save his life, but the crane swings over and drops Steve into a pile of like this metal, killing him. I skipped this. I skipped a sentence. So Batman's running to like save him, to try to like save his life, and then ironically, one of the mobster's goons hits Batman with a wrench, knocking him out, and this makes it so Batman doesn't save him, and then he dies.
Yeah, like he was trying to save him.
Yeah,
because he knew that if the magnet shut off, he'd fall into the scrap metal pile and just get like mutilated.
Yeah. It kind of have to like look over that a few times, just kind of like because when you're like reading like something cartoony and comic-y like this, like it's kind of inconsistent whether like when people fall from great heights. I mean, this is the thing where Joker like falls to his death every issue.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, is there something like molten in there? I'm like, okay, I guess they're just going with the realistic thing where
Yeah.
If he falls from like 50 feet into a pile of metal, he's gonna die.
Yeah, and there's like sharp points in that metal.
Yeah, yeah.
Even if he didn't die, he'd probably get tetanus and then get an infection and die later.
Yeah. So, anyways, he's dead.
One down.
The rest of the gang hears the cops, and they make a break for it. Batman and Robin recover a clue to the gang's next target in Steve Rafferty's pocket. The Yacht Club Century dance. And side note, the brothers don't really seem too perturbed that one of them just died. Like, it's very cold. They're
Super
just like,
cold.
on to the next thing. Moving on. So the brothers hold up the dance and they start ransacking the place. Someone tries to resist and he's about to get shot, but Peter knocks him out. So despite being like back in this criminal lifestyle, he doesn't want to kill anybody. The Batmobile nears the yacht club and the gang runs to their clubhouse. When Batman and Robin arrive, the gang throws a net onto the dynamic duo. And then they get thrown into the ocean. Peter Rafferty goes back to the clubhouse alone, while Mike Rafferty and his goons hang out in a yacht. Batman manages to cut his way out of the net with an acetylene torch, and then they silently swim onto the yacht that the Raffertys are on and make a surprise attack. The yacht swerves and everybody falls into the water. Mike Rafferty is weighed down by his bulletproof vest and sinks to his doom.
Poor Mike.
I know.
That was a bad way to go out.
That is. I mean, I like the ironic deaths.
Yeah.
The next day, Peter Rafferty visits the hideout and pulls his gun out on the goons there. He tells them that he's through. He hasn't killed anybody before, but he won't hesitate if they try to stop him. So they leave. Weeks pass by, and Bruce and Dick wonder whatever happened to Peter Rafferty. One day, at an amusement park, a showman is boasting that he can guess anybody's weight, and there's this blind man who's walking by, and the guy asks to guess the blind man's weight. The man, he makes a guess, and then the man gets on the scale, and he's shocked when the blind man is about 20 pounds heavier than he expected. He suspects that the blind man is wearing something heavy, and he pats his chest, and he feels something like iron. The blind man fears he'll be spotted and tries to get out of there.
It's kind of fucked up if you think about it.
Yeah, it is.
What if he's just fat?
Yeah, well,
Like
he appears like a very skinny guy,
what
but
if he just has like
it's still not cool to invade somebody's personal space
right?
like that.
You're fatter than I thought you were gonna be.
It's like, this is fucked up. I don't even think he like volunteered for it either. Like,
It didn't
usually
seem
you
like
have
it.
to pay these people to do that,
Yeah.
and then like you get a prize if he's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so the blind man fears they'll be spotted, and he tries to get out of there, but it's too late because some of the old Rafferty goons recognize him as Peter, and realizing he's wearing the iron bulletproof vest. And Bruce and Dick just happen to be there too. Peter makes a run for it. Bruce and Dick suit up and they strike out the goons on the carousel and, have a big action scene. They take the goons out, but they lose sight of Peter. Ironic.
Mm-hmm.
A storm kicks up and Peter knocks at the door of the first house he sees with some light on in there. And he thinks there's somebody might be there, because he just wants to get out of storm. A gracious old couple let him in, give him coffee, they're just being really, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really weird situation because there's a doctor there performing an emergency surgery on their grandson's appendix. And they're worried because the power went out and the whole place is just lit up by candlelight. And they need the electricity back up so the surgery can go smoothly. Peter decides he needs to help them for being so kind to him. So he goes back out in the rain and he finds the broken wire. He figures that he can get the power back on if he touches both ends with the metal vest. Which, I mean, this is dangerous as it is.
Yeah, you're gonna die
Yeah.
trying to do something like this no matter what.
Yeah. So as soon as he takes off the vest, one of the Rafferty goons just so happens to see him and shoots him in the back. Batman appears and knocks him out. Peter struggles but manages to fix the wire. Batman brings him inside. The surgery was a success, but sadly, Peter dies. And thus explains how Batman has the bulletproof vest in 1942. Kind of grim that he'd keep this trophy, if you ask me. The end.
I get why he kept only the one.
Yeah.
Because the other guys died as criminals, right?
Mhm.
They went out in bad ways because they had made bad decisions. This guy died a hero,
Mhm.
and even though he could have just given up after he got shot and like bled out and died, he still crawled his way bleeding out to fix the connection to allow this kid to be saved.
I
So
mean,
maybe for Batman, that trophy is a reminder that not all criminals are bad.
maybe, but the other everything else in there are trophies from the bad criminals,
I know, but
including I really liked. I mean, let's get into the. We put the whole panel there, so
yeah, but he does say
yeah,
like when he goes up to the vest, he's like, this is a different kind of story.
yeah,
Like
yeah. This is like a special one.
yeah.
Yeah. Um.
General thoughts here. I wrote a bunch actually.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is the first time in a while that I've had this many thoughts about an issue. I wrote this is the first appearance of what will become the Batcave,
Mhm.
Batman's trophy room.
Yeah.
Um, first time that Batman references old cases, like legitimately references old cases,
I think he's mentioned some offhand, but like,
but not like showing props from them and
yeah.
like showing that he collects things. Like
Mhm.
this is like actually getting into like Rogues Gallery territory here.
Yeah, and
We
I think
just had the first appearance of the word rogues too, like really
yeah,
recently.
yeah.
So they're world building right now.
Mm-hmm.
I said the Batman art is top notch.
Yeah.
And the writing is crazy that when you take Bob Kane out, it can end up with material like this. That's some of the most compelling Batman material so far.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just another slice of life type story, but it was really, really good. The artwork's more fluid and realistic, and there's iconic shots of Batman and Robin doing their Batman and Robin stuff
Mhm.
sprinkled throughout this type of story, which usually you don't get. You get
Yeah.
either the slice of life, or you get the iconic Batman and Robin, and this one you get both.
You
So
do, yeah.
I really love that. There's quite a few pages where I loved every panel on the page and just wanted to put the whole page in.
That's kind of actually why I just like put in whole pages and
Yeah.
like there's a little bit from everything we could like talk about.
There's a lot of like good 2 or 3 part panel sequences that
Mhm.
are split up weird ways, so you can't just like screenshot it and put it
Yeah.
in there. Like you have to put the whole page in there.
Yeah. This story reminded me of just because of the ironic deaths.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me of that one story we did not too long ago, with the 3 mobsters and the Chinese guy that they killed, put the curse on them,
Oh yeah,
and they all had their own ironic deaths.
I like that kind of stuff. It's very
Yeah, the
Twilight
prophecies,
Twilight Zoney.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Tales from the Crypt.
And Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. This is a pretty solid story, and yeah, I like the kind of proto Batcave.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing that because just a few stories ago, Penguin had started robbing Bruce Wayne's apartment.
It's a good thing this wasn't there at the time.
Yeah, he would have been like, why has he got all this? You know what? Knowing Penguin, knowing how they always do the thing where like they miss the obvious like thing, just
Yeah.
don't put 2 and 2 together. They probably would have been like, well, Bruce Wayne's really rich, so obviously he just buys all of Batman's trophies. He's just a big Batman fan.
He's a Batman fan.
It's obvious.
Or they're friends.
That too. Yeah. I mean, don't they do Batman and Bruce Wayne are friends in something like?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
they do that in the live action show.
Yeah. Yeah. They do. Yeah. That's probably where they got.
I'm sure it comes from here.
Yeah, that's probably where they also got the kind of the idea where Peter Parker and Spider-Man are
Yeah.
friends, so
Oh, of
that's why he
course.
gets the photos.
Yep.
Yeah.
There was I didn't put it in here. I didn't screenshot it because there was like so much else to screenshot. But there was one panel in here where Bruce Wayne looked exactly like Bruce Wayne from the animated series. Not kind of close like he does like in this portrait here.
Hmm.
Exactly.
I like it when they do that.
It's nuts.
Yeah, like I'm sure I've shown it to you a bunch, but in like the very first like Batman origin, sequence panel
Yeah.
where it's showing young Bruce Wayne crying.
Yeah.
His face is drawn. Terry McGinnis, his face is like
Just
almost
like
1-to-1. Yeah, so
yeah,
it's like
I know. I noticed that too.
yeah, so it's like did they like I know they like the whole like twist where he's a clone.
Yeah.
It like came out like years later, but it's like it lined up so perfectly.
That's that first appearance of the origin where he's
Yeah.
sad and has like a tear going down his face. When they redo it in the 50s and they give him and he's angry,
Yeah.
it doesn't look like him anymore.
I don't think I've seen the 50s version of it.
It's good.
We'll get to it soon. Soon-ish.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's get into the panels. We're gonna probably talk about this one for a while. Might as well like dissect it.
We could gloss over it, but like he goes into his trophy room and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 specific trophies that he talks about from 5 different stories in
Yeah.
continuity so far. But also like in his studio or like in his little study room here where he's converted into the trophy room, there's a penguin on the table first of all. So like penguin trophy, I'm assuming. There he's got the Joker face or like the comedy face from
Yeah.
Joker's lair that he must have stolen from his lair. He's got it above his fireplace now.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to see what the rest of the things are that are in the cases, but I'm sure they're references to something.
You know what? There's that it kind of looks like a tiger skin underneath the
Totally.
I'm thinking.
You think it's the saber-toothed tiger?
I think so.
It looks like it has something going on with its mouth too.
Yeah, like it
Yeah.
kind of looks like there's teeth there, even though he ripped it off. He could just stick it back in.
Yep.
Yeah. In case you forgot, it's not the audience, not you, Mike. There was the story with the land, the time forgot, where they go to the island with dinosaurs and stuff, and Batman kills a saber-toothed tiger, and it ends up just being a regular tiger because the whole thing was a movie set. Yeah, so it's probably that.
Yeah, I wish I could see what these other things were. I'm sure if you had
Yeah.
the original sketches without like the words in there, you could see them,
Well, let's
or the
see.
black and whites. But it looks like one of them is like a gas gun or something.
Yeah.
That's being held up on a prop. It has a little placard in front of it, so it might be like Joker gas gun or something.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe the one where he dressed up as the Beatnik.
Yeah, maybe.
And then,
And then the one in the middle, it's probably one of those like Jade Idols or something. That's what it looks like to me.
I kind of, part of me thinks it's like there's like a little bat wing there.
Maybe.
He hasn't used batarangs in a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but yeah, I can't really tell, and then it's just too illegible for that.
It's big though. It takes up like the whole case almost.
Yeah, so it's up to whatever if they ever want to do like a big 3D rendering of this.
Yeah, that'd be pretty funny if Batman's trophy room was just full of his stuff. Not the villain stuff, but just like, this is the batarang I hit Joker in the face with. This is the grappling gun that I used to see. Like,
Yeah.
it's just his own stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on to the panel after that, within the same page.
The duck.
The duck. Oh, we talked about this duck for a while when it
That's so
happened.
good. I'm glad that they used the duck.
Yeah. So, you want to explain the duck to the audience?
Oh, it's the duck that Joker created in prison so that he could escape via the canal or whatever it is, like the moat around the sewers, which is utterly ridiculous that they would even let him make it in the shop. And it's a snorkel. Like, where the hell did he get the snorkel from?
Yeah, you just have to get some rubber tubing, and maybe there's some like industrial, like he combined like the shop class stuff with maybe like industrial materials they have there for, I don't know,
like a tube and like the urinal cakes or something.
Like this is silly. It's stretching it, but I think it's plausible.
It's semi-plausible. I think Joker is smart enough to come up with something like that. But
yeah,
I just like the fact that they have the duck because they weren't there when he broke out. Like, they caught him, but then Batman went out of his way to go get this duck snorkel somehow.
Yeah, I think they referenced the duck snorkel again. Remember that one Joker story where like it begins and then they're watching like the newsreel? Yeah, I think they mentioned his breakout there too.
They do.
Yeah, like I think it's just an obvious like little, like if you read it, you're like, this is one of my favorite Joker moments. Yeah.
Then we got Penguin's gas umbrella.
Yeah, I don't remember if this was a specific one, but like it's just a thing he's known for.
He used it in his first appearance, so they're probably just referencing his first appearance.
Yep.
And then the really detailed painting of Bruce Wayne's face from that was painted by Van Gild when Van Gild was like, apparently like all his paintings were getting people killed.
Yeah.
And then I like that they say this, but they don't show it. Like, I wish Robin was like putting his finger on the painting, but he says these bullet holes meant you were to be killed by a gun but escaped.
Yeah.
So like he's got a painting on his wall of himself with bullet holes through it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That he specifically commissioned, knowing that the guy doing this would basically like is his own death sentence.
Do you notice the sign next to it says trophy 483? So he's got 480 something or maybe 500 trophies in this room somehow.
There's a lot of Batman adventures they've had off screen so far.
That's what I'm saying. I like that. It's more world building stuff.
Yeah. So after that, we got the this was from a Joker story.
This is from an early Joker story.
Yeah. So it's I don't even know what the thing is, but it's like a round. Let's see, what does he call it? He doesn't call it anything.
It's like a chunk of metal with a bunch of spikes on it.
Yeah, it's like a stool, but instead of legs, it's like a bunch of metal spikes.
Yeah, but it's funny though that
I think they were glass.
They are glass.
Yeah.
In like the story, and they shatter when they hit his chest. So like,
Yeah.
did he recreate it? Like, did he fix it?
I think so, because in the story, basically, he sets the trap up, but did he have something metal under his chest to protect him, or was it that he
suspected because the alternative was going into the room with the lion.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Because it wasn't glass. It was like
It's candy
Joker
glass.
passed it off as glass, but it was like candy or sugar.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun.
yeah, it was good.
Maybe this is like maybe Joker made like real ones and Batman like found the real ones because like Joker was like working on this thing. He's like, you know what? It'd be funnier if it was glass, if it was just sugar, and I got the tiger.
Oh my god, that one says trophy 891.
Whoa.
All right, so apparently he's got a lot more.
Yeah.
And then the next panel right next to that bulletproof vest that's on the mannequin, there's like a film projector.
I wonder if that's anything specific or.
I'm guessing like Basil Carlo or something, but
Well, there was that one time. It was like it was another early Joker story where Joker projected himself on the wall.
it could be Joker. Because
Yeah.
I like anytime I see like a film camera being used to project an image, I think Scooby Doo. And how
Yeah.
many times was I referencing
Yeah.
Scooby Doo early on?
Joker likes to use film projection and also just like audio. Like
Mhm.
how many records has he like specifically made of like people screaming and
Yeah,
just to like throw Batman off?
I love that. When are we gonna
Yeah.
get a movie where the Joker like distracts Batman with the recording of someone screaming, and then it's just like, haha, JK, it's just me.
I feel like they kind of tackled that in Dark Knight, but
Oh yeah,
I mean he definitely did the classic make a film of like somebody hostage
yeah.
or like I'm gonna do my plan, and I don't know, it's kind of like a mix of everything.
I like his fake outs a lot too, though.
Yeah. So the rest of the page is also just really gorgeous. Well, it's just this is a different page. This is a different page. This is like a few pages later.
Yeah.
So after that, I threw in the page of the Rafferty's like crime spree, and
I knew you were gonna pick that one. I was screenshotted that one, but
Yeah.
I knew you were gonna put it in there anyways.
well, the whole. I just wanted to do like that one panel, but I'm looking at it and remembering like this is the first non-Bob Kane one,
Yeah,
and like the art is just gorgeous in general. Like everything is awesome about this.
it is.
I mean, it's just like a bunch of it's just a bunch of like mobsters, so like no like crazy cartoony people,
Mm-hmm.
but they're drawn really well. Like this close up of I don't remember if this is Mike or Steve, but like he's just, like smoking the cigar and like talking. It's really nice. He's just like he's ugly. It's cool.
Yeah, there's another panel that also I didn't put in here of the other brother who smokes, because one smokes a cigar and one smokes a cigarette in like a long cigarette
Yeah.
holder, where he's like got the cigarette holder in his mouth and he's tilting his
Yeah,
head down. His
the
hat's
the
obscuring
one in
everything.
green is Mike
Yeah.
because he's the second one killed. Steve was the first one.
Well, when Steve is smoking his cigarette, he's got his hat tilted down and like the smoke's like whipping around his face and in the background. Looks
Yeah.
really cool.
One more detail I just noticed. In the first panel, it's got the daily news that saying they're on a crime spree.
Yeah.
But in the overall larger edge of the panel, like it's all of them shooting.
Yep.
And like it looks like there's bullet holes in the paper, so it's like they're
totally
shooting
are.
through it. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
I know it's the first one of those like multi-part panels that's showing everything happening that also like is alive.
Yeah. I feel like Will Eisner could have like would have thought this up. He was really good at stuff like that.
I honestly feel like I know Will Eisner is like a lot smarter than Bob Kane and sorry guys and Jerry Robinson and all them, but like it really does feel like he pulls, or like his inspiration for the spirit and stuff comes from like these more like slice of life type
Oh yeah.
stories.
Yeah. Like you feel I kind of it's been a long time since I read like The Spirit and like all about Will Eisner, but I think his like he's almost like Tezuka. I don't know. Where basically like he did The Spirit, but I don't think he necessarily wanted he didn't. I remember he didn't want him to be a mystery man.
Mm-hmm.
But like superheroes and mystery men were all the rage, so that's why he like made him wear the mask and all that.
Yeah.
But like when he was kind of done with The Spirit, or I don't know how long he did The Spirit for anymore, but like his true passions were definitely like the slice of life stories and the non superhero stuff, where you could really expand the art form.
Yeah. This is where it started.
Mm-hmm.
On this panel, like, or on this page, like the last two panels are just Batman and Robin, but
Yeah.
every single moment of Batman and Robin in this issue is drawn so well.
Yeah.
And like I just had to stare at them all. I almost wanted to just save every panel with them side by side.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Like
did too.
them pointing at the guys who are breaking into like the junkyard or whatever, like them swinging down with the moon. Like it all is damn good.
Yeah. Like that one with the swinging in the moon is like just like classic Batman and Robin.
And like they tweak their features a little bit in here, exactly how I like it to be.
Yeah.
Like Batman looks angrier. He's not smiling as much. But like overall, like his whole like countenance or whatever looks softer.
Mhm.
He's not so like "Rah," like a football linebacker.
Yeah.
Like when Bob Kane's on him. And then Robin has that more like gremlinly, like sort of like evil, angry kid face.
Yeah.
Which I prefer.
I love
too.
the Goblin
Goblin Robin.
Gremlin Robin. Yeah.
The only thing he's missing is like the little devil lock things that from his old
his
original
hair.
hairdo.
Yeah.
That come that's it. Other than that, I really love the way these guys are drawn. in this
They
issue.
feel like they're drawn very iconically, but like without being like obvious like redraws of like panels they've done before.
which is what they used to do all the time.
Yeah.
Constantly like reusing the same poses and stuff because like limitations, artistic limitations. I don't know.
Just quick. I mean, these guys are like drawing them, cranking them out
Yeah.
quickly. So I mean,
I,
not to dog that or anything.
no, no. I put this one in. I was originally going to put in like the 3-part panel of
Mm-hmm.
this sequence here, but you got like the first 2 on the bottom of the first page.
Mm.
But it's just the gas station attendant.
Yeah,
Man, that was cold.
that was.
They just drive up and they're like they're in the middle of a conversation with their brother, and they're telling him how they're gonna get him back into like their gang, and they're gonna give him a cut of the money and blah blah blah, and he's got no choice. And then this guy is just like filling up their car, and then they freaking shoot him and drive off in cold blood.
They do this like all before Peter is even able to like say, no, I'm going straight. Like,
Yeah,
usually there's like, I going straight, and they're like, we're gonna talk you into this.
No, they're like, boom, you're already involved. Tough
Yeah,
shit.
like it's like almost like a Quentin Tarantino like
Yeah, it does.
shock and awe violence.
This whole issue kind of had that feel to it.
Yeah,
And I hate like, yeah, you're right. Quentin Tarantino's films do have that type of like shock and awe violence. But you know what else does?
Hmm.
The Killing, that movie, the
Yeah.
Stanley Kubrick movie.
Yep.
It has that feel to it, like that raw feel, like where it's unpredictable and you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Whereas like most Batman comics feel pretty predictable to a degree.
Yeah, like-
This one you're just like, what?
Yeah, this one has a form. I mean, they're all formulaic, but like this one, like kind of defies the formula with just like the little, ta like
Yeah.
beats. Yeah, like Peter like is kind of like, well, shit, I'm in, and he like tries to resist, but like
Yeah.
he's still doing the crimes.
Right. It feels very realistic. that,
Yeah.
Like you run it, you really want to get out, but like you can't because it's family and like it's pulling you back.
Yeah,
But this individual panel that I picked here, like right after they shoot the gas station attendant,
oh
and
yeah,
he crawls in from the gas station into like the office to grab the phone to call the cops.
Mhm.
There's a trail of blood like
Yeah.
coming from outside. It's just pretty dark. Like there's not a lot of blood in Batman comics. I feel like most of the time when it's blood, it's Batman's blood.
Yeah, like it's sparingly, but like this one, you can definitely like. There's a lot of like dragging, like bodies dragging, themselves.
Yeah.
Like later on with Peter and his ultimate demise.
I think that adds to that feel, like that desperation feel when people are dragging themselves, still
Yeah.
trying to do something while they're dying. It's a recurring theme in this one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put this panel in here of Batman and Robin running. Why? Because it's awesome. Because this guy knows how to draw Batman and Robin really well. Like again, like look at the way Batman's drawn. He's not so massive.
Mm-hmm.
He's more athletic. He seems more natural. He feels more like when Carmine Infantino recreates Batman,
Yeah.
and makes him look a little more realistic. I really like it. But yet again, we have Batman being like, come on, pal, let's go. And then Robin's like, yippee. I think the last time we had a panel like this, he said hip, hip, hooray.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So, yeah,
Uh,
they're still trying to keep up with the childlike, really like innocent Robin, but they're giving him the look of the original, like
Mhm.
more dangerous Robin.
and the story takes place in 1939. I mean, canonically, it doesn't make sense, but it's like whatever. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna have to do a lot more of that in the pretty soon. But it's like plausible. But I don't think he didn't show up till like 1940. So
Yeah.
you know what? I hope somebody got fired for that.
I think they're retroactively putting Robin into a story
Yeah. Oh yeah.
because they're like, oh, he's been around this whole time.
Mhm.
When we said that he didn't show up until this point, we forgot. But,
Yeah.
like there's stories that take place before this that
There-
we just didn't tell you yet.
There was the other one where Batman goes to it was the one it was the guy who hated Batman, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one like it started because they like said like before Robin was there.
That was a really good one because
Yeah.
it tries to show how his personality changes when Robin becomes involved.
Yeah. And that one also I don't know if Bob Kane was involved. No, that one had a different writer. I mean, that one had like an entirely different team, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it had felt more like a newspaper like comic.
Super good.
Yeah.
This panel, this is the one we were talking about earlier,
Yeah,
with the brother who gets stuck to the junkyard magnet, and then it drops him because Batman's not able to save him because
Yeah.
the other guy hit him in the head.
What a grisly fate.
Yeah, it's like his fall. It looks scary because he's not just falling; he's falling like head first.
Yeah.
So he would break his neck no matter what.
Yeah.
But then you look at like what he's falling into, and it is just like jagged chunks of stuff.
Yeah, hopefully like it was quick because imagine like falling and then like falling at an angle where you're like still alive but
Yeah.
you're bleeding out and in a ton of pain. Ooh.
I didn't put the next part of it because there is another panel where it shows him like laying there in the
Yeah.
garbage dead. But the way that it's colored kind of ruined it.
Yeah.
It's not that it's drawn bad.
because he blends right in.
He blends right in.
Yeah,
but
so-
otherwise, I put that in there too because that's bleak as hell. Like he's
Mhm.
just mangled corpse laying on top of all this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and Batman's pretty nonchalant about the deaths in this one too.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think he's going with like I tried to help them, but
They wouldn't let me.
they wouldn't let me, and they're
Yeah.
doing bad. So whatever.
This moment right here that I put in next is probably the most grief that Batman shows here because he actually was trying to save that guy and he couldn't. And also, I always pick the panels where Batman's putting his hand on Robin's shoulder and comforting him.
Hmm.
This one's the other way around. And it's the first time I've seen it where Batman is grieving because he tried to save the guy's life and the other guy intervened and prevented him from doing it.
See,
And Robin's like, it's okay.
yeah, I think you make more sense. I interpreted initially as Batman. He just got up from getting his head hit with the wrench, so he's just kind of like, ow, my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Robin there, just kind of like here, yeah, it kind of does make it seem more.
I think it's
like
a
there's
little
more
bit of both. Yeah, like if it
Yeah.
was just the head damage, then I think it'd be more like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Ow, my head."
Yeah.
But instead, he's like talking about how, you know, they broke up their plans anyhow, and Robin's like, "Yeah, don't worry, it's good. I really like it." And another iconic Batman and Robin sequence. Like we've never had a shot like this in a single issue so far.
Yeah, where they
It's
jump
an
out.
action shot where they're running towards you, the reader.
Yeah, that's
Like
really cool.
we've had them say "all out for action" or something similar, but like they're running. They literally look like they just hopped out of the Batmobile and they're busting ass, running straight at you,
Busting ass.
busting ass. Really good. So much good stuff in this issue.
So the next one with the where he's like pulling out the acetylene torch.
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
why I picked these? I did this as a two-parter.
Mm.
Why do you think I picked these two?
Just because it's like showing how like resourceful Batman is, maybe.
Yeah, it's showing how resourceful he is.
Yeah.
It's showing that he upgrades his utility belt constantly.
Yeah.
As he learns about scientific inventions.
Mhm.
So like he it says that he I think it shows it in like one of the next panels here that like he was watching some special or heard some special, probably heard about something
Yeah.
where they were talking about using acetylene torches to salvage wrecked ships. And he immediately was like, and it clicked, and he was like, I need to get an acetylene torch in case I ever get trapped underwater again.
I think that might be the writer Don Cameron because like we were talking about that earlier. He's like, I think he was the one who's like always kind of puts in like a physics thing or
Yeah,
something like kind of educational for the reader.
that's what I like about Batman, though.
Yeah, 'cause,
that's
like-
one of the defining characteristics.
Yeah, because this one's like, how is he gonna burn his way out if he's in water?
Is it even possible?
Yeah.
Of course it is, and we'll tell you how.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I really love that. That's something that separates Batman from other characters too, is that the writers are smart and therefore Batman is smart.
Mhm.
He's always up to date on advancements in technology.
Yeah.
So that was just super cool. I
Yeah,
love
and
seeing
like
that.
it's crazy how the technology, like and Batman and the technology, like go side to side. Like he's so
Batman's actually one of those characters, and so is Superman. You know, he's
Mhm.
not alone, who evolves alongside technology,
Yeah.
but also is one of those. He's like a art influences life, life influences art, where people read and watch Batman stuff, and they're like, I want that to be real, so
Yeah.
they make it real, and then Batman includes things in real life that the writers want to be real in their universe.
yeah.
So it's just really cool. Just another thing that makes Batman fascinating. This is just a great shot of Batman beating up all these guys. I love when Batman throws one punch and hits two guys in the face.
The art is just so clean.
Yeah, it really is.
And you know what actually weirdly enough makes this like look so good, I think?
Hmm.
It's the primary colors, the purple of the background
yeah, with no detail.
with no detail and the orange of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
So like they contrast really well. So like everything in between just looks like that much better.
I agree. There's a lot of really obvious good ideas in here.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have stuff like this next page that we picked where it's like raining the whole time, which happened in one of the last issues we read, including the whole part right here where Batman throws an uppercut to the guy's jaw in
Yeah.
the rain. That is actually a callback to something that just happened. But I really love the way that the rain's done here. It looks like it's like saturating the streets, like you have puddles building up
Mm-hmm.
in the corners of the alleys. That's a lot of attention to detail right there.
There's a lot of just sudden rainstorms in the last like story or two.
Yeah. There's another thing that I really love here. Remember the first time that Batman threw his cape out and it didn't look like weird rigid bat wings, but it looked
Yeah.
like an actual natural fluid cape?
Yeah.
That was a huge deal. They're keeping up with that here, but they're taking it to like the next degree. If you look at the panel on the bottom down here on the left, like he's stooping over and his cape is like it looks realistic. Like the way he stooped, it looks like the cape is touching the ground and it's sort of like bending a little bit at his waist or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like it has that shape. Like
Hmm.
the cape feels alive and fluid. It doesn't feel so two-dimensional.
Yeah, it's just kind of like long,
Yeah.
rather than like being,
It's
like, all
long and,
splayed out.
and it flows.
Yeah,
It feels like physics actually affect his cape.
yeah. So that ran a while. All right, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we get back, we're gonna talk about the Scarecrow returning. So Scarecrow, his second appearance.
Back by popular demand.
Yes. I hit the wrong outro button. Whatever. That's why it felt different. Okay, so how about that cover?
It's amazing.
Yes.
It is well, before we get into the cover, this is Detective Comics number 73, The Scarecrow Returns. Art by Bob Kane, Jerry Robinson, and George Russos. Written by Don Cameron.
Okay, so I was wrong. Don Cameron didn't. It was Robinson. Didn't. I mean, Bill Finger did last story. I'm an idiot. Okay,
You're good. Don't worry.
Yeah.
This cover is like a weird sickly orange color,
Mm-hmm.
and the Detective Comics logo is like a weird sickly yellow color. It looks very desaturated, which is interesting.
Yeah.
It's an interesting choice. And it's a giant scarecrow, towering over Batman and Robin, who are swimming through a pile of gold and like bags of money and bills and stuff like that and rare gems. And for some reason, money is like coming out of the scarecrow's hat and his arms, everywhere where straw normally comes out.
It's very DuckTales.
Yeah. And then Batman, Robin is swimming in the gold. Batman is swinging like he usually does, except instead of swinging from a rope, he's swinging from like a pearl necklace or something hanging out of the scarecrow's hands,
Mm-hmm.
swinging straight towards the scarecrow like he's gonna kick his ass.
That's gonna be traumatic.
Yeah.
Anything with Batman or pearl necklace.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he had the pearl necklace like bit here. I wonder if that was.
It introduces it in the next revision of the origin story.
Ah, okay.
Like it shows something. I think it shows something like that in the original origin, but it doesn't actually reference it until the second origin. And then it says in the bottom left corner, by popular demand, the return of the Scarecrow, a brand new story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good stuff.
And then the splash page is the Scarecrow terrorizing a city.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is one like they're doing like the big, as usual, like the large villain, small Batman, but this can be this could work as like a perspective trick.
I was just gonna say, is it really that he's super large, or is it a forced perspective to throw his shadow onto the building?
Yeah, I think it works either way.
Yeah.
It might not be because that guy like by his foot is like really tiny.
That's true. That's like the one thing that throws it off.
Yeah,
his arm is like hanging over the edge.
The intent might be actually a perspective trick because I mean Scarecrow is like a tall and lanky dude anyway.
It's a great splash page though because it's a night scene. We don't get a lot of night scenes in these comics still, which is weird because Batman's predominantly a night character now. But like there's a street lamp or something throwing his shadow onto this giant building, which makes him look towering and even bigger than he is.
Mm-hmm.
And then people are like, cowering in fear and like running away, and there's a dead guy on the ground in front of him.
Yeah. All right, let me see if I got this one in me. Okay. What do men fear most? Things they do not understand. Cunning tricks that they seemingly do not make sense and so cannot be warded off by ordinary intelligence. And in all the world, none knows this better than the Scarecrow, renegade college professor and authority on the psychology of terror. Once again, the Batman and Robin match wits and muscles with this nightmare figure of burlap and straw whom prison could not hold. Following the deceptively childish clues, they flash along paths of peril They flash along paths of peril to balk at schemes of warped genius as the Scarecrow returns.
All right.
I almost had it, but like I just like read the same sentence twice.
I love this little blurb here. You know why?
Mm.
Because I love that Harley Quinn show, and I love the way that the villains in the show are like a boys' club, and they're always trying to one-up each other. This seems like it could be Scarecrow's business card right here, where it says, Scarecrow, renegade college professor and authority on the psychology of terror.
I could see that, yeah.
Like, that could totally be a business card.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. All right. Let's get into it. Bruce Wayne and Linda Page are on their way to a ladies' hat gallery. Bruce thinks that all women's hats are ugly and terrible, so Linda wants him to pick out her next one. Once there, Bruce finds himself surrounded by beautiful women with ugly hats. Linda decides to give him some proper perspective, so she walks him over to the hat museum inside the gallery and shows him the ugliest old hats anyone has ever seen. Despite being hideously ugly, though, they are very valuable. They have real, precious gemstones sewn into them. Linda then shows him a few distinct modern hat styles, all of which Bruce hates. Then suddenly, Scarecrow is on stage with the host of the show, and he goes on a rant about valuable hats before unleashing his thugs onto the audience to smash the museum case and steal all of the rare and valuable headpieces. Bruce doesn't know what to do. In a panic, he almost accidentally gives away his secret identity, and then he realizes that he can play dumb and still make an effort to stop the Scarecrow. He walks over towards the men who are trying to break into the museum and accidentally falls into one of the men, smashing him face first into the glass case. As he apologizes and pulls the unconscious man out of the broken glass, another man approaches him from behind, and Bruce accidentally throws an elbow into the man's face. Scarecrow sees what's going on and pistol whips Bruce in the head to put an end to his hijinks. Minutes later, Linda shakes Bruce awake from his stupor, and she tells him that Scarecrow took the hats and knocked him out. Bruce asks where he went, but she doesn't know. The only clue is a slate that he left behind that says, hat, came off nicely, matte, and then it's blank. Bruce is stumped. As he leaves the gallery, Dick is waiting outside. Bruce fills him in, and then they get suited up and head to the wrestling arena.
I love this part.
I love how he's using like an old like chalkboard slate, which nowadays people wouldn't even know about. But like I don't know about you either, but like me, like when I first started going to Cactus View, we actually used those things in my elementary school when I was in like kindergarten and first grade.
No, not like that. I mean, we had chalkboards on the wall, but
we used to do them for like practicing cursive or like practicing your ABCs. So, anywho, Bruce thinks that the word "mat" on the slate is referring to the wrestling match tonight, where they are collecting all the proceeds for a donation to the War Bond Drive. Surprise, surprise. There's a man up on stage saying some pretty fucked up things and acting like an auctioneer to stir people up and get donations from them. Once the donations are all gathered, he announces the wrestling match as the two wrestlers approach the stage, and they grab Tommy guns from the popcorn vendor. Once on stage, they knock out the announcer and pull the guns on the crowd. High up above the stage, Batman and Robin swing down from steel girders. The duo disarm the fake wrestlers and then proceed to wrestle them into submission. As Scarecrow tries to escape with the money, Batman throws one of the huge wrestlers over the ropes and onto him, stopping him in his tracks. And then Scarecrow gets up from under the man. He finds a Tommy gun and opens fire on the heavy steel lighting fixtures suspended above the wrestling rig. The chains give way and it falls, crushing the dynamic duo and pinning them to the stage. Scarecrow runs off, and some friendly faces run over to lift off the heavy lights and save Batman and Robin. As the crime fighters come to, they find out that they indeed did save the money, but Scarecrow still got away. The fight promoter was thrilled, though. He tells Batman and Robin that they just treated the crowd to the best wrestling match anyone has ever seen. Batman doesn't think it's funny. He is determined to catch Scarecrow. The referee comes walking over holding another slate and hands it to Batman. This slate states, hat, came off nicely. Matte, fell flat. Vat, and then it's blank. Batman and Robin are left scratching their heads until they notice a small piece of paper stuck to the back of the slate. It's a card for cleaners, one that just happens to use big vats. The Caped Crusaders make their way to Vortex Cleaners and Dryers. Fully aware that this is probably a trap set up by the Scarecrow, they decide to scale the building and enter it from the top floor windows. They're right. As soon as they get to the windows, they can see Scarecrow and his men waiting inside at the door, guns drawn. Batman and Robin descend on the men. They take them out and make their way towards the Scarecrow, but they act too hastily and end up falling into his trap. Scarecrow pulls a lever and drops them into a vat. The fall temporarily stuns them, and the thugs are able to get tied up. Start over. The fall temporarily stuns them, and the thugs are able to get them tied up to the water pipe on the wall. As they come to, Scarecrow turns on the water and tells them that they are going to drown. He then shows them another slate, as the water begins to pour out of the spigot and fill the vat. On this one, he has crossed out the V for vat and scribbled in a B for bat. Underneath that, he wrote, Yat. What is a yat? Their brains are spinning, but they need to act fast so as to not drown in the vat. It's starting to feel like Dr. Seuss here.
Yeah.
Batman notices that Scarecrow dropped his favorite stick into the vat, and he's able to grab a hold of it somehow and use it to pick at his bonds and free himself and Robin. Across town, Scarecrow and his men are robbing a Chinese jade store. They knock the owner out and start looting it. Scarecrow sees a jade scarecrow that he must have, which I don't know that there are such things as jade scarecrows, but whatever.
I didn't either.
Outside the store stand Batman and Robin. Having looked up Yat in the yellow pages, they found that Yat Singh's S-I-N-G jade store and knew that it was the right place. The crime fighters charge in and start laying waste to Scarecrow and his men while spewing out cheesy rhymes. All rhymes that have to do with like that and Yat and stuff like that. When all the other men are down and all that's left is Scarecrow, he pulls a gun on our heroes, but they tackle him at the same time, knocking him backwards into a glass display case. The jade Scarecrow he so desperately wanted falls from its place on the shelf above him and hits him in the head, knocking him out until the police can arrive. The shop owner wakes up and thanks Batman and Robin, and then the police come to take Scarecrow away. As he is hauled off screaming, Batman adds one more bad rhyme to the slate. That's that. The end. It's kind of hard to like describe some of the stupid rhyming in here.
I know.
But it basically like it's like bat, yat, that, and then that's that. Like it's really stupid.
I Scarecrow's, character in this like period is like really like it defies what I expected out of him. Like he's this college professor and he's like obsessed with fear, but like at this point he's like, I'm gonna make children's crimes.
He's not obsessed with fear.
No.
He's his authority on the psychology of trauma and fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. He's just kind of a pathetic guy.
He is.
I really like that. That part's fun.
Yeah. My only issue with this story is that like they are doing the rhyming thing instead of the fear thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm waiting for them to just hone in on the fear element because that's really the Scarecrow element.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to happen, but he's going to get like a big reinvention.
I think so.
Yeah, like he's just going to kind of stick to this like weird, pathetic Scarecrow for a while.
You know what would have taken this story with all of its weirdness and made it like a top tier classic Batman story? If it was the origin story for the Mad Hatter and not the Scarecrow's return.
I can see that. Yeah.
Right?
It would make a little bit more sense just because it's like more on like that, Lewis Carroll rhyming. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the weird rhyming and then the fact that it revolves around strange, ugly hats.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
This would have been the perfect way to introduce a character like that. Even if it wasn't his origin, even if it just introduced him and then they got into him more later in the next issue.
Mm-hmm. I don't have anything like really crazy to say about this one. The art, especially coming off the last one, I don't know if it's just like, how they like preserved it.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels like a big step down from Batman number 12.
You know what it feels like to me? It feels like one of those books where like they scanned it in, but it didn't do a good job of picking it up, or they scanned it off a really old copy that was beat up before they recolored it, and they didn't take the time to fix the lines, like the ink lines. So it looks like it's missing some details in some places.
I did think it was kind of cute how Scarecrow, it's like, oh, a jade Scarecrow, and he's like kind of like loved it.
Yeah, he's like, I kind of have it.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's great. And the wrestling sequence, that was the only like panels I was gonna like put in.
The wrestling sequence is great. The whole thing.
Yeah, I always love it when like Batman goes to like a big public event.
Yeah,
and like accidentally becomes the main event.
Yeah, that's happened a lot recently. It happens with like every sport that they talk about.
Yeah, every time.
Yeah.
So, you want to get into panels?
Yeah, I mean, I can breeze through most of these panels.
Yeah,
really easily. Like the first panel, I just had to put in the stupid hats. The first panel is they call it an industrial motif hat. It's like metal riveted to metal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what's on top.
I mean, gears?
Yeah, probably gears.
I think gears, yeah. Because, I mean, we're in, the wrestling part's about, getting the money for, getting war bond money, so.
Linda Page's hat looks like a freaking elf hat. It's really bad. No wonder Bruce hates it.
Yeah.
And then this industrial motif one, this lady's like pitched forward like it weighs like 50 pounds.
Yeah, and like the propeller is like got to get like in her face. Like
you're looking at the helicopter or the airplane one now.
Yeah,
the airplane one totally. She's like pitching backwards, like the propeller's about to cut her nose off. Like these hats don't seem comfortable.
No,
but then I love the dialogue on this page. She's like, "See how the war has influenced women's styles?" And then Bruce is like, "No wonder they say civilization is in danger." Like,
yeah, like this is definitely like I don't give a shit, Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, it's like you say that the war is influencing style. but you're using the war to create ugly hats.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's just fed up.
Yeah. Like oftentimes, like Bruce is like seems disinterested,
Yeah.
but he's like playing it up, This time I think like it's both.
I think for my Batman story that I'm writing, where he talks to Robin about his love life, this is going to be the moment where he decides he doesn't like Linda Page that much anymore. They're bringing him to the stupid hat exhibit.
Yeah, like there was one panel, I don't think you got it, but like it's like Bruce said goodbye to Linda Page, and I'm like, did they just break up?
Yeah, I know. This is going to be the moment for me. It's the turning point in their relationship.
It's like took this to this stupid hat convention.
Like, who needs hats?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bruce isn't even wearing a hat.
No, he never wears hats.
Yeah, that's true. He's not a hat guy.
No. Does he even wear a hat when he's matches Malone?
I think no, I don't think so.
Yeah. I only think he wears hats when he's trying to be a gangster.
Yeah.
So maybe he associates hats with gangsters and criminals too. Who knows?
Maybe.
I mean,
this was a time where like going out without a hat was kind of weird.
Yeah. Well, he's got that nice hair, so.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, the next panel, Scarecrow on stage, a grim, tattered figure steps upon the stage, and he's calling all the women fools. And then they're like, "Oh my God, he's so awful."
I did like that.
Yep.
Yeah, and like for a moment, that like people were like, "Is he one of the hat guys?"
Yeah. But then Batman, Bruce Wayne, I almost just did it right here.
Yeah.
He's like, it's the Scarecrow, one of the most dangerous crooks on Earth. He escaped from the prison where the Batman sent him.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
Like the hat convention is basically like made him just kind of like forget things.
He's so pissed that he's just reverting to being Batman.
Yeah.
And forgetting that he's just Bruce Wayne.
Yes. He's like daydreaming. He's like, "Oh God, I hope somebody comes and wrecks this place so I can
kick some ass.
Yeah.
Get out of here."
Yep.
And then the next one where he's accidentally
Mm-hmm.
interfering with these criminals, it totally looks like he purposefully bashed this guy into the glass case.
Oh, definitely.
It doesn't look like an accident.
Yeah.
But I guess it could be that he's tripping over that other guy's leg.
Yeah, that's what they're going for. Like he
Yeah.
does like crazy kung fu or whatever, but like,
Yeah, this is like some I Love Lucy shit right here. Like, whoops, shatters him into the case. Whoops, trips and falls over the guy. Like,
I just so happened to beat up 5 gangsters by tripping up the place.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. And then you got the whole wrestling page on here.
Yeah, the wrestling page is great. Batman swooping in on like the light rafter.
Yeah.
And they got like these big burly wrestlers holding Tommy guns.
I know.
It's so like, imagine going to WWE or AEW and then just like
They just pull Tommy guns out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
You would think it's part of the show, though.
Yeah, like in the 90s, if like Anthony was here, like he would say it, like say who, but there was a big like infamous thing where one of the wrestlers like actually went to, I think it was Stone Cold. Yeah, Stone Cold went to like one of the other wrestlers' houses,
Mm-hmm.
and like they like filmed it live, and the other wrestler like pulled out a gun on Stone Cold. I mean, it was all an act, but like
Yeah.
the fact that like they're like doing this like semi home invasion, like it was very edgy for the time.
I love all that crap
Yeah.
from the Attitude Era, like the little like home movie shot things.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
With the beer truck and all that.
Yeah,
Like,
they don't
oh
do
my
that
God.
no more, but it's great.
Yeah, that's what made that era.
Yeah, I could definitely see Joker stealing somebody's dad's coffin
Yeah.
at the funeral, like Big Show. That was great.
You know what I just thought about?
Mm.
Batman and Robin and fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze and everything.
Mm-hmm.
They could have put anybody in that role. Anybody. It could have been Stone Cold. His name is Stone Cold. Come on.
He was too busy wrestling at the time.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I also just love Robin there, just doing like a clean 180 flip on just this gigantic wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
like,
Batman picks that massive guy up and chucks him like a baseball. He hasn't done anything like that in a while.
no.
Right into the Scarecrow. Amazing. It looks like in the last panel too, I mean, I could be wrong, but it looks like Batman chucked Robin into the ropes, like they're about to do clothesline somebody,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't have the next page after that.
All right. So after that, we got Scarecrow holding up the chalkboard thingy.
Yeah, he crosses out the V and writes B. He's all wet.
Yeah.
Come on, Scarecrow.
That was dumb.
It is pretty dumb. But then like reading that speech bubble right there, oh my God, it's like the Cat in the Hat. Like it's all rhyming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. I'm not gonna read it. It's really bad.
No, let's move on.
This is a cool shot right here because it's like 3 panels turned into one widescreen panel, and it looks really. It looks like a panoramic photo, or like, you know how like when you're taking a photo with like your iPhone and then you zoom out to like the 0.5, how it kind of gives like that wide angle or like fisheye look to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It looks like that. It has like that fisheye lens look to it, where like there's like the gangsters like robbing stuff, and they're like in the background. Then there's like Scarecrow also in the background, but slightly more into the foreground, and then Batman and Robin running from like the background and into the I don't know. It's really hard to describe, but like it looks really cool. Like maybe it's because the bottom of the page, it shows like the edge of the ground and it's angled forward, and then the back of the page or the top of the page shows the walls and it angles backwards. So it gives you like this weird like amount of depth.
Yeah. And then we got Batman knocking Scarecrow into a cash register.
Yep, the dialogue here is gold though.
Financial rating, that like I had to look. I didn't look it up, but I should have. I think I get the overall gist. It's like into your net worth.
Yep. But I like how when he hits the register, and then it's like bong, it rings up no sale.
I love it. Yeah, it's a classic cartoon.
These are like cheesy lines that they're saying here, but they're not as bad as a lot of the ones that we've been seeing recently.
No,
you know.
And then looks like the last one is just one of those classic where like Robin like throws something at somebody and their like face gets all fucked up, like Three Stooges style.
I like how he's like,
yeah,
he like makes like sounds though. And then they have this whole rhyming crap here where it's like, here's where I use a gad on a brat. Here's where I use a vase on your face. It's pretty dumb.
Enough with the rhyming. Okay, so that wraps it up for this week's Become a Bat. Next time, we're going to do story number 2 in Batman number 12, Wizard of Words.
Joker.
And the next detective story, Detective Comics number 74, the introduction of a very minor rogues gallery, but they do pop up from very sparingly time to time.
And you know who they're usually messing around with? Joker.
Yep. With Tweedledee and Tweedledum. So we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for listening.
Later.
Good night.